Hello, welcome to Mr. Clix Flix. I'm Mr. Clix, and in today's video I'm going to cover my common and uncommon pools from my venue's Fear Itself Month 2 event. Now, to be honest, I didn't pull all of these. Some of them I got them in trade, but we're going to do reviews on them nonetheless. Each figure is going to get 2 ratings, 1 to 5 stars. One rating is going to be for Fear Itself sealed events, and the other rating is going to be for 300-point competitive constructed builds. So let's go ahead and start with the first figure we're going to review today. Is number 2 in the set, Asgardian Troll. He's 25 points. He starts off with an 8 movement, 10 attack with super strength, 17 damage, or 17 defense, and 3 damage. He ends up being 4 clicks long. On his last click he has regeneration, so if you're able to roll a 5 with a lucky regen roll, he heals back up to top click. His jaw's a little soft. His defensive values go down from 17 to 16, 15, and I believe on his last click he might even have a, yep, he has a 14 defense. But he has mostly 10s and 9s on his attack, so he has a chance at hitting, even though it's not a big chance. Overall, I really like him a lot. For only 25 points with that super strength, if you give him a heavy object, he'll be able to hit somebody for 5 damage. And if he only does that once in a game, he earned his points. So, for Fear Itself sealed, I would rate him 4 out of 5 stars. If you're in need of a filler at all, and you have 25 points left, this is the way to go. Or if you need a tie-up piece, this is also the way to go. At 25 points, even if he gets one shot, that's not a lot of points to give up. There's figures where 1 click is worth 25 points, so it's pretty good. In constructed events, I would maybe rate him like 2 out of 5. He doesn't really have a lot of defensive capabilities. He doesn't really do a lot to help your team outside of a tie-up piece. He doesn't have any special ability that helps like a general type figure, with him being the minion. However, he does have the monster keyword, so on the right team you could do something with him with like a mole man, mind control style team. So 4 out of 5 stars for sealed, 2 out of 5 stars for constructed. The next figure I have to review is number 4 in the set, Prodigy. He's 75 points, starts off with a 10 movement with charge, and he has the flight symbol, 10 attack with super strength, 17 defense with invulnerability, 3 damage with a special, and 0 range. Asgardian Troll also had a 0 range, in case you were wondering. The special on his damage is called Flawed Leadership. It says Prodigy can use leadership as if he was worth 300 points, but only succeeds on a roll of a 6. So that's not bad. It's conditional leadership, but he's gonna be able to do it on use his leadership on pretty much anybody on your team. His combat values go down pretty fast, down to a 15, and he's 6 clicks long. Whenever you use this figure, you're pretty much paying your whole point value to keep him on his top click. I wouldn't really use him for 75 points. Heck, I'd rather run 3 Asgardian Trolls than this guy. So for constructed, I give him 2 out of 5 stars. He's not going to do a lot to help you. 17 defense. He's not staying on that top click for very long, and that's the only click that he's really useful on. And for constructed, I just don't see a way. You're better off using the Prodigy from the Amazing Spider-Man set than this guy for 75 points. So I'm going to rate him 2 out of 5 stars for constructed also. Next up, is number 9 in the set, Sin. She's 76 points, has the Hydra team ability. She starts off with an 8 movement running shot with a boot symbol, 11 attack, 17 defense with toughness, 3 damage with a special, 6 range, and she has a trait. So her trait is called Searching for the Hammers. Sin may add 1 to the relic roll when she rolls for a relic with the Fear Itself set symbol. So that's kind of helpful. I don't know how helpful it's going to be in sealed, because a lot of the time you're not going to be allowed to use a relic. But if you played a venue, mine this last month allowed us to use 1 hammer, so it could be helpful. And the special on her damage is called I'm going to take over the world like Father couldn't. Sin can use leadership and outwit. So outwit is huge in this set because almost nobody has it. Everybody has a damage reducer. So if you can get a figure on your team that has outwit, I would suggest using it. I played against 2 teams that had her on it and absolutely got murdered. They just let her sit in the back and tied me up with their big boy, and she just outwitted my defense so that I was getting smashed for 5-7 damage and couldn't really get to her. Her leadership in this set's not really going to help though, with her only being 76 points. She alternates every other click with that damage power, where she'll have exploit weakness or that damage power until she gets KO'd on click 6. But every click she has a way to damage you. She can either outwit your defense or hit you with exploit weakness. For Fear Itself sealed, I would rate her 5 out of 5. If you pull her, you gotta use her. That outwit's just huge. She has a little bit of range to help you out, and having short ranges of like 3 or 4, she's able to outrange a lot of people in this set. So 5 out of 5 must play. For constructed, I would put her at a 3 out of 5. She's really more of an army builder type piece. You'd put her on a Hydra swarm team to keep using leadership, outwit. Outwit's going to be a little bit less useful in constructed because you're going to run into some power cosmic or quiet. I don't know how you say Quine's 9, the DC equivalent of power cosmic. But the leadership on a swarm team, she's going to be able to get some use out of, and Hydra team ability she's going to be good with. She has some decent keywords. Hydra. I don't know too many people with the Serpent Society or Skeleton Crew keyword anymore, but she's still pretty useful. And only at 76 points, that still leaves you almost 225 points of your build left. So 5 out of 5 for sealed, 4 out of 5 for constructed for Sin. Next up, we start with the uncommons, and it's Heimdall. He's number 12 in the set, 169 points. He has a trait. He starts off with a 8 movement with charge, 10 attack with Blades, Claws, Fangs, 18 defense with invulnerability, and 3 damage with a special. Now, this guy is all about his trait in sealed. He's makes it really hard to get around and pin teams down. His trait is called Detected by Heimdall, and it says opposing characters that move within 3 squares of Heimdall must end their movement unless they began their movement within 3 squares of him. So unless your opponent messes up in how they position this guy, you're basically going to have to stop and let them charge you if you get too close to Heimdall. His combat values stay pretty consistent, although invulnerability does give way to super senses. He dips down to a 16 at a point in his dial, but his really sweet clicks are click 8 and 9 on his dial, which are his last 2 clicks. His last click is just monstrous. I saw somebody hit a Heimdall on here, and he ended the game. He was pretty much the last guy standing on the one team, and he just wrecked house on an almost totally healthy force. He has a On his last click, he has 8 movement with charge, 11 attack, 19 defense with impervious, and 4 damage with perplex. And you figure this is happening late game where hopefully some opposing figures are KO'd or really beat up. So you're gonna, late game, that's huge. And also, I forgot to mention, he has the Indomitable ability, so he's able to do something 2 out of 3 turns. For Fear Itself Sealed, I rate him a 4 out of 5 stars. And the only reason he's 4 out of 5 stars is because he costs so many points. 169 points is a lot for basically a finesse piece. You have to think about how you're going to use your team with him. He's not really point and click. But in the right hands, he's just truly devastating. I saw people get totally wrecked by him both months so far. So 4 out of 5. If he had any range at all, I would have to rate him 5 out of 5. For Constructed, I would have to rate him 3 out of 5. 169 points is a lot for Constructed out of 300 points. He has no range. You figure a lot of his powers are going to get outwitted. He's not going to be as helpful as he is in Fear Itself Sealed, and there's going to be a lot more range. So that Detected by Heimdall trait, you might go a whole game and not have it come into play because somebody has an 8 or 9 range where you're not even going to be able to get close to him before he's beat up. So 4 out of 5 for Sealed, 3 out of 5 for Constructed for Heimdall. The next guy I have for you is Tanneris, I believe is how you say it. And he is number 13 in the set, 120 points. Starts off with an 8 movement with the flight symbol, 10 attack with a special, 17 defense with invulnerability, 4 damage with shape change, and a trait. Now the trait's not going to come in too many battles in Fear Itself because there is no Thor in this set other than the LE. So it's called There Is No Thor, Only Tanneris. And it says, if a friendly character named Thor equal or higher points is not on its starting click, you may give that character a power action and replace it with Tanneris, the same number of clicks from his starting line. This trait can be used when Tanneris is not on the map. So this guy ends up being a range piece, his whole dial. So if you get a Thor that gets beat up, maybe gets knocked back, doesn't have charge but needs to still get into the fight, switch him to Tanneris, and maybe get a single target pulse wave for 3 or 4 damage. Yeah, it's just would be really nasty. And the special on his attack is called Codgel, I believe is how you say it, my enchanted weapon. It says Tanneris can use barrier and penetrating psychic blast. So Psychic Blast is always a good thing. I've never seen it where I was like, oh no, the figure has Psychic Blast. However, he has no move and attack, and he doesn't have Indomitable. So you're going to have to wait unless you feel like pushing him, which I did a lot. He ended up being on my team for my Fear Itself month 2. I pushed him to click number 3, which I felt was his best click. Shape Change keeps him alive. I saw a lot of people use his shape change to great effect. Yeah, like I said, his my favorite click on him is click 3, where he has a 7 movement, 11 attack with the special on his attack, 18 defense but with impervious now, and still a 4 damage with shape change. He ends up being 8 clicks long. Combat values never dip below 9. Has a little bit of pulse wave sprinkled in there on the end. He's pretty good. His only downside, no movement attack, no indomitability. So for Fierce, but he does have that massive, or not massive, but pretty good 6 range in a set that has a bunch of 2 through 4 ranges. So he's able to outrange a few people. Fear Itself Sealed, I would put him at 3.5 stars out of 5. Not an absolute must play, but somebody you should consider when you pull him, just because of his range, and he does have the flight ability, so he can carry somebody, so you know, they can save an action and charge in later. If he had Indomitable or Running Shot or something, I would rate him a hard 4 to 4.5, but he doesn't have that. For Constructed, I would rate him a 2 out of 5 stars, unless you were going to use him with a Thor figure, in which case I would say that you know, definitely if you're running a Thor, have this guy on the sideline just in case, you know, you need some range help. I give him a 2 just because no move and attack on his entire dial, not anywhere to be found. No Indomitability. 6 range and Constructed is not really going to get him too far. And if since he only reduces by 2 all the time, people are going to outwit his shape change. So he's going to get smacked, and you're going to basically lose 120 points early in the game. So 3.5 out of 5 stars for Sealed, 2 stars for Constructed. Next up is Raizo Kodo. He's number 14 in the set, 104 points. He starts off, and whenever he starts off, he's a wild dial figure, so he starts on click 3. He starts off with the flight symbol, a 10 movement with charge, a 10 attack with blades, claws, fangs, 17 defense with invulnerability, 3 damage with a special, 0 range, but he has a trait, and he has 2 traits as a matter of fact. The first one says Vampiric Hunger, and it's the same thing as all the other vampires from Amazing Spider-Man. Raizo Kodo begins the game on click number 3. Raizo Kodo can use Steal Energy, and when he does, he may heal past his starting line. So let's see what that top click looks like if you're able to get him to his top click. So if you were lucky enough to get him to his top click, you'd be looking at an 11 movement with Flurry, 12 attack, 18 defense with Impervious, and 4 damage with Outwit for 104 points. That's really great. You almost have to run him just for the chance for that cheap to get those stats. And his other trait is called Samurai Duel. It says at the beginning of the game, you may choose an opposing character. If you do, as long as that character is on the map, Raizo Kodo modifies his attack value by +2 when attacking the chosen character, but -1 when attacking another character. So, if you pick somebody on the opposing team, I would suggest when using him a lower point figure. Just charge in there. You get +2 to your attack, so that's a 12 attack with Blaze, Claws, Fangs. You hit them, and then make sure you get a second shot at them after they're crippled, and you knock them out. Well, now all of a sudden you're on that top click. But also, make sure you notice that it says that those stat modifiers are as long as that figure is on the map. So as soon as that character's KO'd, Raizo Kodo's stats are as they appear on the dial. So something to make note of. And the special on his damage is called Tactical Concentration. It says when Raizo Kodo is not adjacent to an opposing character, he can use Outwit until your next turn. So what I've seen a lot of people do is send them in, or outwit somebody, then send them in a charge, hit them with blades for 6, and heal a click. That traded Steal Energy keeps him in the fight for a long time. He ends up going to click 7, so that's 4 clicks for 104 points, or 5 clicks. He's 5 clicks for 104 points, or 7 clicks if you're able to heal him all the way up. I would give him for Fear Itself. Again, he has Outwit, even though it's a conditional Outwit. He can heal up to just an absolutely ridiculous top click, and has a lot of staying power if you're able to hit somebody. You know, he almost ignores being pushed because, you know, you take your push click, but you also heal for your Steal Energy. So for Fear Itself Sealed, I would rate him 4 out of 5 stars. If he had Move and Attack on that click number 1, that he went up to, like something that said he could flurry and charge, or he had indomitability, I would rate him 5 out of 5. But right now he's 4 out of 5. And for constructed, conditional outwit's not bad, but he has no range. He comes in at 30 points. I would give him a 3 out of 5 for constructed. If you run him with the 107 point Hannibal King from Amazing Spider-Man, you might have a really neat team in there with his outwit and Hannibal King's conditional perplex by +2 for one stat and -2 to the other stat. So 4 out of 5 stars for sealed, 3 out of 5 stars for constructed for Rise of Kodo. Next up is Black Widow. She comes in at 109 points. She's number 16 in the set. She starts off with a 9 movement with charge, 11 attack with a special, 17 defense with super senses. She also has indomitability and a 3 range. Her special on her attack is called Mighty Stingers, and it says when Black Widow can use Blades, Claws, Fangs, or it says Black Widow can use Blades, Claws, Fangs, and Incapacitate. When she uses Blades, Claws, Fangs on a result of 4 through 6, give a hit character an action token after the action resolves. So, Blades, Claws, Fangs with a special bonus of conditional Incapacitate. So, congratulations, to your opponent. Just took 6 clicks of damage. Oh, and you also get an action token, so you have to clear next turn. And with her Indomitable, she might be able to hit him again. Now, she does have... I saw somebody push her that I played against, ignoring her Indomitable, and push her to click 2, where she loses 1 on her attack, but she gains Outwit. And that's what they did, is they switched to Outwit and used up all my defense. So that's something to keep in mind with her, is she's also an Outwit piece. For sealed, since she has Outwit, she has the ability to use some board control. She's 7 clicks long, has the normal stop click that all the mighty figures have. Hers is on click 5, and then she's got 2 clicks after that. For Feared Self sealed, she seems a little expensive for all the more damage output she's going to do, but she has some upsides with the Outwit, with the possible Incapacitate. So I'll rate her 3.5 out of 5 stars for Feared Self sealed. And for constructed, I'm just going to rate her, I'll rate her 2 out of 5. She doesn't, that power on her attack is going to get outwitted whenever you play in a constructed. Somebody's just going to be pinging her from a distance. She does have some things going for her. I wanna like her, but I can't bring myself to do it. There's better places to go. You figure for 100 points, I could use Dark Phoenix and get running shot, TK, pulse wave. When she gets KO'd, heal everybody on my team that she shares keyword with by 2. So that's where I'm coming from, where I'm kind of being a little bit hard on her. So 3 out of 5 stars for sealed, 2 out of 5 stars for constructed for Black Widow. And the last uncommon that I have to review with you guys today is Miss Marvel, and this is the Mighty version. This is the only version of her in this set. She's number 17 in the set, 155 points. She starts off with a 11 speed with the wing symbol, 11 attack with a special, 17 defense with impervious, and she also has indomitability, 4 damage with leadership, and a 6 range. Her special on her attack is called Mighty Axe. It says Miss Marvel can use super strength. She can use Blades, Claws, Fangs, and may also use it to replace her damage value when she is given a ranged combat action. When she uses Blades, Claws, Fangs on the result of 1 through 3, deal a hit target 1 penetrating damage. So you would think, oh, with that 4 damage, why would I ever roll for Blaze Claw's Fangs? Well, if you do get the 1 through 3, you're still dealing your 1 penetrating, and you're going to go through any defense with the one penetrating with all the reducers that are in this set. Her defense is a little low to 17, but it stays consistent. I'll give it that. Dips down to 15 on Click 7. Click 5, she has the stop click that all the mighty figures have. I ended up getting her to Click 4 a lot in most of the games I played her in. She's the another figure that I played in my Feared Self. I looked at her and I liked her. I don't like her so much now after using her. She just, at 17 defense, she seemed to get beat up a lot. But she does have, on Click 4, which is the one that I like probably the most, because she has hypersonic speed with an 8 movement, so not a really big movement, but enough to help. 10 attack, 17 defense with toughness, and 3 damage with enhancement. So for Feared Self Sealed, whenever I pulled her, I would have rated her 4, but now that I've used her, I'm going to rate her 3 or 2.5. 155 points is a lot for somebody with 17 defense. The range blades is nice, the 1 penetrating damage is nice, but you can just, for 155 points, Hex Skern has 4 damage pulse wave if you have her with another worthy figure, you know. So 5 points less, that's a much better choice. So 2.5 or 3 out of 5 for Miss Marvel and Sealed. And in Constructed, I'm going to rate her 2 out of 5. She, 155 points, she's over half your build. She only has 17 defense. Very vulnerable to outwit. Stop click's nice, but you know that's only going to save her once. So yeah, 2 out of 5. So that's all I have for you guys for this video. Be sure to check back, and I will do a video of my Feared Self rares and super rares, and I'm also going to have a video for the Blitzkrieg USA pack, where I'm going to talk about the figures that came in that, and also another video where I discuss the Feared Self Month 1 and Month 2 LE figures, and a last video where I'm going to talk about the Book of the Skulls and how that works. So be sure to stay tuned. Plan on putting a lot of videos out, and hopefully you guys are enjoying them. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on everything that you guys see that you like, and remember to keep on clicking. Bye.